Music producers, it's Curtis Key and CurtisKeyMeets.com, and today I'm going to give you tips that I learned over the last month when I accumulated over 2,000 followers on Instagram. Let's talk about it. Music producers, over the last month and a half, I accumulated over 2,000 follows on my Instagram. Now, many of you may think, well, you got different social medias with a large following. This is true. However, you never see me share my social medias on other social medias. If you do, it's very rare. Why do I do that? Because I want to make sure that I am efficient at that particular social media and make sure that my content is as native to that platform as possible. Now, when I say native, I get this from Gary Vee's Jab, Jab, Right Hook book, where he talks about every single social media has a language, it has an understanding, it has a speed, it has a flow. You got to think about it. I saw a stat one time that said tweets generally last about 6 hours before they're obliterated from the timeline. Facebook posts generally last about 6 hours before they're going off the timeline. So as a music producer, when you're approaching your marketing strategy, you better know what speed you got to move on to be efficient on these social medias. Now, let me give you a little story. Before I decided to go on my marketing strategy on my Instagram, there was a few things I had to make commitments to myself beforehand. First and foremost, the reason why I even did it was the fact that I was having a son. And I knew that when I had a son, and it was a newborn, there was probably going to be no chance that I was going to be sitting on Instagram for the hours that I used to sit on Instagram, pretty much marketing and doing the things that I do. So I had to make a plan. One of those plans was to bring on some video editors to basically help me. And I don't even think you need to do that. I brought on video editors to basically make meme videos. And I wanted to get them to stack as many meme videos as possible so that no matter what, I always had some content to post. So the days that something great and interesting happens, or I see a beautiful view, or I see something that's really special in my personal life that I want to share, I still have those photos, but I also got these videos in the archive that are ready to go. So it was important for me to build up archive first. That's the first tip. Make sure that whatever it is that you do, you build up a lot of content. Now, before you do that, I probably should have shared the fact that most of my content speaks to rappers and producers and a little bit to small businesses and entrepreneurs. I know that I have to direct these messages to them and them only. I'm not worried about creating content that everybody's going to like. If you find a niche and you attack that niche, you'll make that niche your bitch, straight up. So what I did was I started to figure out, okay, what kind of content are music producers and rappers looking for who happen to be on Instagram? So I had my video editors basically create this 1-minute meme that will be engaging, entertaining, it would use some B-roll, and it basically would get that specific audience to be in a trance once they saw it. And because of that, it helped spread my name pretty virally throughout Instagram. Because people were sharing my posts, people were commenting, they were tagging people. Now, I didn't anticipate them doing all that, but I did know the beauty of delivering a message consistently to a specific demographic, and people will share the information, especially when it's good. Another Instagram tip I have for you, you must gather some hashtags that are both strategic and have a large audience. I went about hashtags, especially on YouTube, the wrong way. I was looking at hashtags like producer, music, hip hop. And then when you think about all the varying topics that may capture that particular, just think about hip hop as a hashtag. That could be Kanye's rant, that could be Childish Gambino's video, that can be Bad Barbie having an argument with Triple X Tentacion as hip hop. Either way, you're going to fall into a sea of content that you're just never going to be seen. Even though there's 1 million and something people searching for this, you'll still fall inside of an ocean where you'll be a small fish in a big pond. So be strategic about your hashtags. Music producer tips, rapper tips, whoever you're speaking to. And actually, let's get a little bit deeper into this whole demographic thing, because you need to know your audience. It may not be rappers and producers. That's my thing. It may not be that, but you got to figure out what subculture are you a part of? Are you into video games? Do you like Fortnite? Are you into skateboarding? Are you into tattoos? Are you into architecture? You got to find a way to kind of segment one of these subcultures and find a way to become a voice within this subculture, and make sure it's something that you're actually passionate about. I always use the example that if you're passionate about basketball and you love basketball, fam, you should be making compilation videos with highlights, top 10s on a regular basis. Yes, you need to be the new ESPN. Why would I want to be the new ESPN, Curtis? I make beats. I understand that concern. But guess what? When you make these highlights, guess what highlights always have? Music. Guess who now is the self-appointed music director of this whole highlight video? You. Use your music. Not once have I looked at a highlight video with music in the background and looked in the comments and seen somebody not say, hey, what's that song in the background? If you want to even go a step forward, put a call to action. Have your website at the bottom of these highlight videos, but legitimately make them highlight videos, right? Create your own videos, create your own style, have fun with it. If you don't video edit, find somebody that does video edit. Put these dunk compilations together, make a top 10 LeBron James dunks of 2017, 2018 compilation with your music in the background. I guarantee you're going to start attracting people who are into the same things as you. If they find a reason to like you, just one reason, you got them in the house, you got them in the door. Now that they're in the door and they understand and they like your critiques or they like your highlight videos or whatever you're talking about that's within that subculture, you are now a voice in that subculture. When you're a voice in a subculture, they'll finally give anything else that you do a chance. Because if they really, really like your commentary here, they'll give you a chance with your music. If you have the opportunity to go on a binge making these highlight videos, or even making like Fortnite videos, and you're attacking these hashtags that you've already compiled, can you imagine the amount of people who may be into that just may not be into music production? Matter of fact, you might crucify me for this, but music production might be the most boring thing about your life. It's interesting to you. You love making beats. We love the fact that you're making beats, but it may be the most boring aspect of your life. And when you look at your timeline and it's nothing but beat visualizers and other rappers' faces and the sound bars that go up and down, that's not interesting to anybody except for rappers. You're like, well, I'm just trying to attract rappers. Well, rappers ain't the only ones that know rappers. There's people out here who may be tattoo enthusiasts who come look at your post and say, yo, this is a dope post. They may say, oh, my best friend who's also in the tattoo community has a really thriving rap career and would love to buy some exclusives from you. My thing is, become popular, become known for something, but make sure it's something that you're passionate about. Next, let's talk about your thumbnail patterns, because the way that I view Instagram, the most important page on Instagram is the main timeline that shows the small thumbnails. The ones where it's divided in rows of threes, that is the most important page. It's not one post. The most important page is that particular timeline. Why? Because that's where people decide whether or not they want to follow you. When people came to my timeline, they saw a pattern. They saw basically two columns that were dedicated to me giving advice to rappers and producers in the form of a video meme. And then they saw one category that had nothing but high-res photos. This is non-negotiable, my friends. Find a photographer, find a way, get an iPhone, get access to an iPhone, get high-res photos, and leave a column, at least one column, that tells a personal story. If you go to mine, you see when my son was born. You see one of his first smiles. You see me holding him. You see him crying. You see me begging for sleep because I'm tired as a new father. But that's the point, is that I'm telling a story that lets people know a little bit more than just I produce. We get it. What else? Oh, I have a son. I'm a new father. It's a struggle. Man, I can relate to that, fam. Because when I was a father back in... Now all of a sudden you got a point of conversation that may not have existed if they had no need for your beats. Now all of a sudden when I put up stuff about my music production, those same folks who love me as a dad are sharing my music. Opportunity opens up when you make the decision to open up your personal life to the public. Now obviously there's limitations to that, but you understand what I'm getting at. Open yourself up, show them other aspects of your particular life beyond just making music, and you'll start to see your following grow. Now, as you're thinking about these columns, make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing. As I was putting together my timeline, I looked at that from the grand scheme of things. I looked at it and said, what would make this really appealing? Because I refuse to do collages that people put on their Instagram. Why? Because collages where you put multiple pictures to make up one picture, they kill your algorithm. You'll stand no chance in hell of people seeing your Instagram post. In the first few minutes of you posting something on Instagram, it's only being auditioned in front of 10% of your audience. If that 10% says, nah, not for me, and they're your most dedicated, loyalist people that look at your Instagram posts, Instagram's not showing that to the rest of the 90%. Why? Because Instagram is in charge of keeping people on Instagram. That's how they continue to make money from their sponsored ads and other things that pop up while you're looking at your timeline. They want to keep the most appealing stuff in front of people's eyes. Are you a part of the problem or are you a part of the solution? Also, speaking about engagement, you cannot You cannot have comments sitting up on your page. And I know you may look at my page and be like, Curtis, but you didn't respond back to every single comment. Yes, you're right, because I get a crazy amount of comments. But the thing about it is I'm getting a crazy amount of comments, which means at some point in time, I had to engage people one-on-one. I had to talk to them. I had to use their name. I had to talk back to them in the way they talk to me. Some people are so shy, all they do is give you emojis. Guess what? I could be shy with you and give you emoji just back. Make you feel real comfortable here. I created a post that had me holding a J Dilla vinyl of Donuts, and I said, what was your favorite instrumental off of Donuts? That engagement that occurred shows Instagram, oh, this is a valuable influencer within our network. We need to make sure that we continue to show his post to our audience, to the broader audience in his network, because they obviously enjoy engaging with him. That post had nothing to do with me being a producer. All I said was, Dilla's a legend. I love Dilla. I love this album. What's your favorite? The last two tips that I have for you are extremely minor, but very major in the long run. Every single video meme that I put up, I addressed it specifically to somebody, almost like a Dear So-and-so letter. I said music producers and rappers, or rappers and music producers, or music producers, comma, and then I gave my message. Also, something I did, the next tip, add an emoji to the beginning of your paragraph. Why? Because when somebody's looking at this picture that is high res, is beautiful, or this video meme and they're entertained, the next thing they're going to do is look at the comments. Now, if they go right past your caption, they may miss some kind of context and take something out of context because of that. So what I suggest is that you put an emoji at the very beginning, and one that actually attracts the demographic you're trying to get to. If you want to talk to music producers, go on and use that keyboard emoji. Go on and use the fire emoji. Go on and use a trumpet emoji. Like if you're working on a beat and you're like making a Chance the Rapper type beat, and then you put that as your meme and you show yourself in there grooving and having fun and playing the keys and all that, make sure that you have some kind of emoji that alludes to that. Why? Because emojis grab your attention. Anything that grabs the attention. Now, you don't want to look desperate. You don't want to look like you're trying to just get people to clickbait. You don't want to put a bunch of alarm sirens like you see a lot of these ads do. I think that's completely played out. But you want to do something that's very casual, but at the same time, it's tasteful, and then it's also strategic in the way that you're getting attention. So those are more than a few tips for you to start with. What I hope that you gather from this is that people want to see more than just post about your music. You got a whole ass life besides your music. And if that's the case, show people your life. Some people may think that you're the funniest person in the world, but they're like, man, why don't I ever get to see you making me laugh? Can you make me laugh every once in a while? Yeah, you make beats. That's tight. I've seen FL Studio more times than I've seen your actual face. Can we see your face? Can we hear you? Stop neglecting some of the best parts of your personality and your personal awkwardness. Show people your awkwardness. Say, I never get on camera. You guys know this. This is super freaking awkward. I actually don't like this at all. I'm doing this because this fool at Curtis King told me to do this. That is so funny. I might repost it because I think that's hilarious. Just show your natural self. Producers, we can no longer be behind these keyboards. We got to continue to grow our brands. We got to continue to be the face of our brands, or our brands one day will be obliterated. I wish you the best, my friends. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. Once again, this is Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below, Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.